over the next 1¼ hours. Heat 1, 3 heats go through to the semi-finals. We have repechage races for the people who don't qualify. We then build to the grand climax, the 15-lap final at the end of this, the Saturday evening, second of 2 nights. Brilliant action on Friday, but this is the big one. 15 riders go away from the gate. 6 laps to go in this, the first heat. Trailing at the back there, number 44, Jan Godard, the Frenchman. Number 5, John Vandenberg, the Dutchman, sweeping round the outside. Sorting themselves out. There's an awful lot for the riders to do over these first very, very tentative first 2 laps. And there, number 4, jumping into the lead, an early lead, Guy Cooper from the USA, having his second ride only on the Suzuki. Number 2, Jeff Leask on the Honda, second in the 1989 500cc World Championship chase. Leask in pursuit of Cooper. There's a Kawasaki in third. The circuit here at the Palexpo Stadium, laid down by the American John Savitsky, the man who designs these purpose-built circuits to great effect, a specialist no less in designing the contour of the leaps, the jumps. High in the air go the team green Kawasaki's. Number 19, Mike Craig, but there he is, race leader number 4, Guy Cooper, the Supercross specialist. Rode very well last night, expecting big things from him. Cooper, number 19, Mike Craig. Down into third place now, relegated, Jeff Leask. Leask number 2. So Kawasaki in second. There is Jeff Leask, the Australian. The ginger-haired, freckle-faced Australian making a bid again for second place. Remember, this is a heat. The riders will be trying, but there's an awful long way to go yet. Cooper beautifully over the whoop-de-doops. All sorts of names have emerged from the American world of Supercross. Bunny hops, tabletops, berms, whoops. We'll be using them as we go through the program. My name's Barry Nutley. Motocross is where I'm from. This is the action on Screen Sport, the Geneva Supercross. Vandenberg still well down the pack, sorting themselves out now. Jeff Leask, number 2. Mike Craig, he's passed again. Number 41, Warren Edwards from Great Britain on the Yamaha. Young Warren Edwards over here with teammate Julian Rawson. There's John Vandenberg from Holland. Number 5, the Dutchman, over the tabletop. The double jump cleared beautifully. The left-hander, Vandenberg, winner of the 250cc World Motocross Championship in 1988. That was stolen from him. Jan Godard there, number 44, in pursuit of Warren Edwards. Edwards 41, Leask on the Honda ahead of him. Roland Diepold, the German, on the Kawasaki. This is the second place man, Jeff Leask. Jan Godard in 4th. Ahead of him, Mike Craig, number 19. Warren Edwards, Jan Godard. And Leask still going well. Jeff Leask astonished Europe with his brilliant motocross technique in the 1989 season, almost lifted the title from under the nose of David Thorpe. But Thorpe was there at the end. David Thorpe does not compete in Supercross, or certainly does not, or has not to date. 250cc machines are used, not 500s. Thorpe is a 500 man. 2 laps to go for Guy Cooper, number 4. There's the Frenchman again, Jan Godard. Cooper on the Suzuki. The South Coast Peril goes under the nickname of Airtime. Airtime, Guy Cooper, number 4. High in the air, clears the double jump beautifully. 1½ laps to go for Cooper. Across the whoop-de-doops, he's clear. This is Heat 1. Cooper just about to begin his 6th and final lap as Mike Craig, number 19, goes through on the Kawasaki. 14,000 spectators packed into the Palexpo Stadium, paying up to 50 Swiss francs, in excess of 20 pounds a head. Cooper on his last lap. Up to 20 pounds a head for the privilege of watching the very best Supercross stars in action from 11 countries: USA, Germany, Australia, Great Britain, Holland, Denmark, France, Belgium. There is no end to the list of nations from which these riders come. Cooper now on his last lap. This is the battle further down the field. It's Warren Edwards being pushed wide by Jan Godard. Number 44, Godard, the Frenchman, is going very, very well indeed. He's passed the Yamaha-mounted Edwards. Storming on now. Ryan Hunt, the British South African, the young man who spent most of his formative years high in the air and almost over the handlebars, through the bales, but taking the checkered flag indeed it was. Guy Cooper, a spectacular finish. Waiting for Cooper now, heading towards, that's Cooper's gone, there's Mike Craig, there's Warren Edwards. Defold, and way down the field, number 5, John van der Berg. Well, if that's anything to go by, the rest of the evening's entertainment will be gripping. Tremendous 6-lap heat. And Guy Cooper really stamped his authority on that one, made it very clear. There he is, Guy Cooper on the Suzuki, number 4. Craig came home in second. Warren Edwards on the Yamaha. Ryan Hunt, Van der Berg down in 5th. The top 6 go through. Second heat, come to the line. Number 17 in the middle of your picture there, Larry Ward, another Suzuki pilot. The Suzukis are very fast round here indeed. Jeff Ward, number 1, in your caption there, the only man to win the 125, the 250, the 500 title in the USA. Kawasaki mounted Ward, the local man, Jean-Charles Tournus. Geneva born and bred, the crowd will be rooting for him. 13 riders on the line. Watch the gate. It drops towards them. There can be no cheating in Supercross. And away they go. 6 laps to go. The first 7 places will qualify. Jeff Ward, number 1, well over on the hard left-hand side. He is in 3rd place, into an early lead. A very, very early lead goes number 29, and that's Colin Dugmore on the Suzuki, and number 3, Kidrowski, the American, last night's winner, coming from the back, so he's got a lot of work to do and only 6 laps to do it in. 400 metres the circuit. Yannick Kerbeler from France on the Kawasaki. The French pilots do seem to favour the green machines. They go very well indeed. Number 65, Alwyn Van Asten, a very appropriate Christian name. Alwyn, will he win it all tonight? We shall see. Dugmore. Larry Ward with him. Jeff Ward there. Number 65, Van Asten. So a good start for Van Asten. Race 2 sees a Suzuki in the front. In fact, 2 Suzukis. 17, Larry Ward. Dugmore right with him. Already sorting themselves out. The circuit here, hard-packed earth, 6,000 tons of soil brought in, especially for the occasion. 450 lorries were used to transport the earthworks into the Palexpo Stadium for this event. Specially constructed. The jumps tailor-made for maximum safety, maximum spectacle. Julian Rawson, number 42 from Great Britain. Number 17, back with the race leader, Larry Ward. Beautifully over the whoop-de-doops. Around the left-hander, the left leg goes out, accelerating up over the double jump. Superbly taken, Ward. High in the air. 4 more laps to go. The suspension on these machines soaking up 18 inches almost of travel, and it's needed. You can just see how the front forks are working and the rear suspension as well. A single shock mounted under the seat, giving the rear end its suspension. And Ward up into 2nd place. Ward past Dugmore, up into 2nd. Van Asten now down to 4th. So Jeff Ward, Larry Ward leads the race. Jeff Ward in 2nd. Van Asten almost over the handlebars. Number 16 there, just flashed through your picture, Jean-Charles Tournus. The local man, Dugmore, still in 3rd. Van Asten. Yannick Kerbeler behind Van Asten on yet another Kawasaki. Distinctive green. And there, as I speak, the Kawasaki banner at the top of the double jump. Jeff Ward. the master of Supercross. Rick Johnson is a non-starter. A lot of the riders coming here straight from the Paris-Bercy Stadium cross, at which a great number of them suffered from the effects of carbon monoxide exposure. In other words, the atmosphere inside the stadium at the end of the three-day event was getting to them, to such an extent that some of them were not able to compete here in Geneva. Added to that, of course, the string of minor injuries experienced at Bercy, but not so for Larry Ward. Larry Ward on the Suzuki. Just a six-lap heat, remember. 2 laps to go, the 2-lap board up. So 800 meters of the Geneva track for Larry Ward before he wraps up this heat. The first 7 will go through. Ward in first, Ward in second. No sign yet of the third man, but it's still Colin Dugmore, number 29. A German with the English name Dugmore on the Suzuki. Jeff Ward closing now on Larry Ward. A lap and a half to go. There he is, second place man, number 1 on the plate. Taking the short way round, cutting the corners as best he can, but Larry Ward still well in control. On their last lap now. These two having opened up a fair gap over the third place men. Supercross, the packaged entertainment brought to the media, brought to the crowds. No longer do they have to go and stand on a windy hillside for hours on end. This is packaged motocross with all the razzmatazz. The commentator adds to the atmosphere. The crowd beginning to sense that something is happening. Could it be that Toulouse is moving forwards? But now they're closing. Going into the last stages, Jeff Ward closing on Larry Ward. Is it going to be a Kawasaki, or will the Suzuki man hold it? They're into the last turn, heading for the flag. Larry Ward gets it. Jeff Ward goes over in second. They go through. That was heat 2. One more lap, might have been a different story. The Kawasaki man was definitely closing. A superbly spectacular finish from Colin Dugmore in third. There's Van Asten. And in fifth place rather, number 3, Mike Kidrowski, having come up from last as Toulouse goes over. So a good ride from Kidrowski up to 5th. Julian Rawson, the lucky strike marshal, waving in the stragglers as the judges prepare the final result. And here it comes. Larry Ward got the win. Jeff Ward was in second. Dugmore, Aston, Kidrowski, Yannick Kerveler, Jean-Charles Toulouse is the final qualifier from Heat 2. Well, Rawson and the final riders there will go on to a repechage, 1 of 2 repechage, which gives them another chance to get in to the semi-finals. This is Heat 3. Get the heats out of the way. Number 63, Greg Albertine, the man to watch here. The South African riding on a German license. Excuse me. 14 riders on the line. The gate into the last 5 seconds has gone. And it is Albertine on the Kawasaki number 63. So Greg Albertine, riding on the German license for various political reasons. The South African, a good start. Number 10, Ricky Ryan on the Honda. In the thick of the action there, number 64, Fred Andrews, yet another American. A wealth of American talent in this one, but the Europeans making it their sole intention to do something about the Flying Yanks. Number 66, Brock Glover in there as well. Glover, the veteran of Supercross, has been at this game certainly for more years than most of the other competitors and really knows his way around the natural motocross circuits and the Supercross. Heat 3, 6 laps, they're on their first. Greg Albertine leads, number 63. In second place, Ricky Ryan. No, as I speak, Glover goes through. 66 Glover up to second. Ryan down to third. Kawasaki leads KTM, leads Honda. So very close, the racing. No room for error at all. Greg Albertine. Well, what a turn up for the books. Number 27 there in fourth place. Denny Stevenson, another American. So he's in fourth. He's pushing Ricky Ryan. Can he get past Stevenson, number 27? That's where the battle is at the moment. Third and fourth places as Albertine storms on his way. Glover now settled into second. The lights. 1.5 million Swiss francs was the budget for running this event. £600,000. A lot at stake for the riders. Prize money is there for the grabs. This is the Saturday night. This is the big one. The final will be a scintillating 15-lapper. Don't, whatever you do, leave your television set for the next 55 minutes at least. It gets better, it goes on, and it's tremendous if last night was anything to go by. Number 27 again, Stevenson on the Honda. Denny Stevenson over the double jump, clears the tabletop, and again nicely down. The track not cutting up at all. The hard-baked mud providing superb surface. Lots of grip, lots of speed. It's 10 meters wide where it needs to be. There's Glover, there's Ryan, there's Stevenson closing. Number 14, Edwin Evertson from Holland on the Suzuki, but it looks to me like a Kawasaki. He's entered on a Suzuki, but he's definitely riding a Kawasaki as Ryan closes on Glover. So Glover now coming under pressure in second place from Ryan. There's Evertson. Race leader, number 63. Second place, Glover. Third, Ryan. Fourth, Stevenson. Fifth, Evertson. And in sixth place, it's Fred Andrews, the other American. The crowd, 14,000 of them, being treated to an absolute spectacle. Across the whoop-de-doops. Fred Andrews was at the back of that bunch, but now Stevenson is past Ryan. Stevenson, as I predicted, is past Ryan. He is now up to third. There's the second place man, Brock Glover on the KTM. Glover saving himself, I suspect, for the semi-final, and of course the big one at the end of the night. He's riding well within himself, beautifully controlled. There's the new third place man, Denny Stevenson, from the USA, the South Coast Supercross specialist Stevenson, having his first full season in Europe. Supercross takes place in the closed season when most of the European motocross brigade, the Grand Prix stars, are not involved in the European scene. Should be their rest period, but there's one lap to go. There's no peace for the wicked here at all, as Denny Stevenson now sets about trying to wind in Brock Glover in second place ahead of him. Glover just going out of your picture now. Stevenson, Ryan fighting back, still the race leader, Greg Albertine. A superb ride for him. No one expected the South African to come storming home with a win here, but he's looking good, looking polished. He was away from the gate like a greyhound, and there's been no catching him. Ryan stood in fourth. And that's the way it's going to finish. Race leader, number 63, Greg Albertine now on his last lap. Glover still with him over the whoop-de-doops. They have to be very careful how they take this one. The 250cc machines fighting back at every inch. The flag is out. Greg Albertine, number 63, gets it. Brock Glover came home, and just look how close Denny Stevenson was. Ricky Ryan, and there's number 14, Edwin Evertson, and 64, Fred Andrews, completed the top group. But the South African stormed home, delivered the goods on the Kawasaki. There was no holding him from the word go. Glover, Stevenson, Ryan, Evertson, Andrews, and the seventh and final qualifier, Fiat Bera from Germany. Brilliant action from the first three heats here from Geneva. We're going to take a short break. We're back with the two repechage. Do not go away. Back with the Supercross action from Geneva, the first of the two repechage races. 5 laps, the top 3 riders from each of these 2 races will go through to the semi-finals to complete the lineup. These are the men who did not quite make it in the heat. The man to watch, of course, the German, number 28, Roland Diepold, a Grand Prix campaigner, winner of the French Grand Prix, riding a Kawasaki. Diepold, he had a fall in the heat, so he obviously was handicapped. We expect big things from him. Diepold, the Kawasaki's do seem to shine at Supercross. And from the flag, 28 Diepold, number 52 there in close company, Jolivière, the Frenchman. So Jolivière is with Diepold, and a faller, 61, Gunzinger from Switzerland. So the local man picking himself up, trying to get neutral selected and get away again, but 5 laps, not very long in which to do anything spectacular. 250cc, these machines, 40 brake horsepower. First, second, and sometimes third gear will be used round here. Very little else. The regulations say that up to 250cc machines can be used, and in fact, very few riders compete on 125s. The 250 seems exactly the bike for the job in terms of weight. 52, Jolivière. So Jolivière in pursuit, but going round the outside, sweeping wide round. Cyril Portal, so another Frenchman, Portal. A faller there being picked out of the dirt, shaken but not stirred. The rest of the team back in business. Diepold leads. In second place, Portal. Jolivière in third. There he is, number 52, Romain Jolivière. Not too far for the Frenchman to travel, of course. Geneva just across the border. So a long, long, strong French presence here at Palexpo. A good list. But the German, Diepold, Roland Diepold, many, many years of 250cc Grand Prix experience, finishing around the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th regularly in Grand Prix, turning his hand to Supercross in the winter. Has remained faithful to Kawasaki over the last 3 seasons, Diepold. It suits his riding style, and he goes well. Number 57 there in 4th place, Bruno Gouillard, another Frenchman. So the German is pursued by 3 French fanatics forcing on. There's Gouillard, number 57, taking a tight line, number 31, Marco Sela. But the race leader, Roland Diepold, 5 laps, a very, very short race indeed. The first 3 go through, I remind you. Cyril Portal again there on the Yamaha. But a dispute now for 3rd, 4th and 5th place. That's how close it is. Roland Diepold wrapping this one up. A lull before the storm, can I say. The repechage, merely a way of picking out 3 more qualifiers from each race to go through to the semi-finals. As we get deeper into the program, the standard of riding, the length of the race, and the speed and the spectacle will increase. The smoke hanging in the air here at Palexpo in Geneva. 14,000 people undeterred by the carbon monoxide and the oil fumes in the atmosphere. And there's plenty of atmosphere, lights, music, laser beams, we've had it all. 1 lap to go for Diepold. 400 meters of the circuit. The John Savitsky circuit. The American who now has a full-time job constructing Supercross tracks around the world and more recently in Europe. He is renowned and famous for the way he puts these circuits together to deliver the very best in rider safety and entertainment. Diepold halfway round the last lap in repechage number 1. Here he comes, number 28, Roland Diepold. Almost over the handlebars, and that's a close one for Diepold. Collects himself again, regains his composure. High in the air, a wave to the crowd, as much to say, well, I nearly came off, but not quite. I'm still here. I've got a checkered flag, and what an easy win it was. Over in second place comes Cyril Portal. Guillard is there as well. There it is, left hand off the handlebar. Roland Diepold gets it on the Kawasaki. Cyril Portal and Bruno Guillard complete the top three, and they go forward to the semi-final. For the rest of them, their evening here at Geneva is over. But there's more Supercross to come. Repechage number 2, riders moving up now towards the line. Again, we're looking for 3. Again, we're going to race over 5 laps. And that was a superb win for Diepold. Here we go with Repechage 2. Julian Rawson, the Englishman, number 42, goes in this one. Rawson feeling his way, it's fair to say, in the world of Supercross. Jose Gonzalez Raba, number 37, the Spaniard, one of 2 Spaniards competing, anxious to do something, but this is his last chance. There is a consolation race for the non-qualifiers at the end of the evening's programme, but we won't be bringing you that because we want to bring you the best, the very best of the action. Away they go, 5 laps. And Rawson, number 42, Julian Rawson, number 37, right with him, Raba, Gonzalez Raba, the Spaniard. So a good ride by the Spaniard, pushing Rawson on the Yamaha, round the right-hander, halfway round lap 1. Julian Rawson from Leighton Buzzard in Bedfordshire, having had 2 seasons on Honda, has signed with Yamaha for 1989. One of the 2 bright young English hopefuls here this evening. His teammate, of course, Warren Edwards, the man recently upgraded from the schoolboy ranks. They both have taken to Supercross with great verve and talent. Number 45, Opillard from France on the KTM, picking his way carefully over the whoop-de-doops. Number 55 there, briefly in your picture. Obelisco, another Frenchman, a very strong French presence. But Julian Rawson ahead of Obelisco. Obelisco now in second, so the Spaniard has been relegated from his second spot. Raba is still in third. 37, Jose Gonzalez Raba from Spain is hanging on to third. Now, will he still be there at the end of the 5 laps, and therefore will he go through into the semi-final? He's in third at the moment. There he is, number 37, the Spaniard. But there's a Kawasaki breathing down his neck as Julian Rawson storms on his way to the win of race 2 in the Repechage series. There's Raba again on the Honda, number 37, the stocky Spaniard, just outside Barcelona. The first Kawasaki in the race. That's Obelisco ahead in second, Raba in third. There's the Kawasaki man, number 35 it is. Daniel Obelisco, number 55, but Rawson on the Yamaha is well clear. The battle is all about these men and second, third, fourth and fifth places. Number 35, David Wynant from Belgium. Or should I say Wynant? Opillard, number 45 on the KTM. There's Obelisco, Daniel Obelisco. This race much slower than almost than the heats we saw. They're settling down. The repechage so vital to the riders in the first 3 places. Jose Gonzalez Raba still in third. In second place, it is still Obelisco. But the leader is Julian Rawson. There's the third place man. And now number 35, David Wynant from Belgium is closing. There's the fourth place man. Can he steal the third spot from the Spaniard from under his nose? The crowd silent. No Swiss presence at all in this race. It's really a race to sort out the next 3. The whoop-de-doops. The suspension taking a dreadful hammering here, absorbing the bump, soaking it up, but still the riders nothing short of athletes, very strong in the arm, extremely strong in the thighs. They have to be to absorb the shocks that come up through the suspension. 1 lap to go. 4th place, Winant. They're beginning to get among the tail enders now. Number 25, Siggy Zachman, a Swiss. I beg your pardon, I said there was no Swiss presence, but Zachman touring round at the back of the pack there. So Rabat could well lose that 3rd place. Will he hang on to it? He's got half a lap to do. There's the race leader, Julian Rawson. This the repechage. We're looking for the first 3. Julian Rawson, number 42. On his way now, just over 50 meters to do. Rawson down towards the last left-hander, heading towards the flag, over the tabletop, the checkered flag, hand in the air. Julian Rawson from Great Britain on the Yamaha. 2nd place and 3rd place go over. Now, did Rabat stay in 3rd? I think he did. Here's the race leader, Julian Rawson, number 42, a spectacular win, a very comfortable win for the Leighton Buzzard Yamaha-mounted British rider. Obelisco was in 2nd, Opperjahr brought home 3rd. Those 3 go through to the semis. Poor González Rabat, the Spaniard, robbed in the dying stages. Well, as the commentary box gets hotter, so does the action from Geneva in the first of the semi-finals. 8 laps the distance. The best 6 riders from this race will go through automatically into the grand final. Below those 6, there will then be another repechage race to sort out 3 more. But remember, we are looking for the top 6, and there is a wealth of talent in this race. Fierce prospect ahead of us as they go. 15 on the line. Take a while to sort themselves out in the middle of the pack. Number 4, Guy Cooper. John Vandenberg, number 5, is right with him. But number 16, Jean-Charles Tonnus. Jean-Charles Tonnus, the Swiss rider, the local Genevan, is leading the race. The crowd are absolutely frantic. He's there, number 16, Tonnus, but can he hold it? Look who's with him. Jean-Charles Tonnus, John Vandenberg in 2nd place. In 3rd place, it's Guy Cooper on the Suzuki. John Vandenberg, the Dutchman, had a car crash on Thursday and is riding, would you believe, number 5 is riding with 24 stitches in his left arm, John Vandenberg, seemingly unaffected by the car crash just 2 nights ago. He is in 2nd place. Ahead of him, the local man. The crowd cannot believe it, and neither can Jean-Charles Tonnus, number 16, on his Honda. He leads the first semi-final here at Geneva, and he is looking good. If anything, he's dropping them away, but fighting back now, Vandenberg. The 250cc world champion of 1988, John Vandenberg, is in 2nd. Guy Cooper realizing now that he'd better get something sorted out. He still has 6.5 laps in which to do something. Cooper now still in 3rd, but pushing hard, taking the long way round. Vandenberg through on the inside of Tonnus. Tonnus fighting back, side by side they go, down the back straight, and still the Swiss is fighting. But he's given best to Vandenberg, who has the lead. Tonnus in 2nd now, Guy Cooper in 3rd. John Vandenberg, number 5. There's Cooper, up to 2nd. Jean-Charles Tonnus burned himself out. He's dropped down to 3rd, and Colin Dugmore, number 29, is about to nail him as well. But Vandenberg showing Cooper the way round. The Europeans are really making their mark in Supercross. So long the domain of the Americans. But just look at Vandenberg go on the Yamaha. John Vandenberg from Guy Cooper, the spectacular Guy Cooper airtime. This is Barry Nutley bringing you the action. Supercross at its very best from the Palexpo Stadium in Geneva. Jean-Charles Tonnus now in 4th place. The new 3rd place man on the Kawasaki just ahead of him. Also, Mike Kidrowski down there, number 3, not having had a good start. But this is the battle for the lead. Vandenberg, Guy Cooper right with him. Can Vandenberg hold him to the flag? We shall see. He's riding superbly. That injury, remember, 24 stitches in the left arm. How does he hold on The wonders of medical science for Vandenberg, keeping him on the bike. The gritty Dutchman, very, very tough. The machine, wonderfully prepared. And they have to be so very well turned out. The crowd, having paid in excess of 20 English pounds, over 50 Swiss francs, for the privilege of being trackside to watch the very best of the action. Doug Moore is now behind Tonius. Moving up, number 19, Mike Craig as well. So Craig, there's the second place man, number 4, Guy Cooper. Craig, number 19, up to third. And right with him goes Kudrowski. There's Kudrowski, number 3, Mike Kudrowski, last night's winner, who took the final by storm. This is the big one. The first of the 2 semi-finals, really sorting out the wheat from the chaff, the men from the boys. Mike Craig, number 19, finding his way in his first full season of European Supercross, but Mike Kudrowski goes through on the inside, high in the air, number 3. Kudrowski takes the Kawasaki rider and moves up to third. This is now third place man, number 3 on the plate, number 3 in the race. Jean-Charles Tonius, the Swiss, has dropped further and further down the field, but he had his moment of glory. He led for 2 laps and won the adoration of the Swiss public. Number 17, Larry Ward, has moved up behind Kudrowski, ahead of Mike Craig. There's Craig now, number 19 on the Kawasaki. So Yamaha leads, Suzuki in second, Honda in third, Suzuki in 4th, and Kawasaki in 5th. This is your third place man, Mike Kudrowski from the USA. And the rest of the pack stringing their way out. They'll be lapping soon. It's only 400 meters around this circuit. 8 laps is quite a long time. They will be among the tail enders, and that will prove very, very interesting indeed. Kudrowski now, Larry Ward fighting on the inside. Did Larry Ward get him? There's Craig. Ahead of him, Kudrowski. There's Ward just briefly flashing through your picture. And on the Suzuki, the distinctive yellow on the Suzuki, 2 laps to go. Larry Ward, number 17. We're with him now. Neatly coming from the back, powering on, the long blonde hair of the young American trailing out from behind his crash helmet. Mike Kudrowski is the man about to fall under the Suzuki hammer of Larry Ward. Larry Ward through over the double jump, neatly looking for the left-hander. He'll flick it left, go the long way around, cut the corner and go for Kudrowski. He's left Mike Craig at his wheel tracks. Jeff Lees, number 2, about to move in now on Mike Craig. Larry Ward, Craig, Jeff Lees, the Australian, fighting up from a very poor start indeed. The battle's still on at the front of the pack. This is the race leader, John Vandenberg. Guy Cooper is with him. They're on their last lap. Cooper can do nothing about it, but is he saving himself for the final? That remains to be seen. What a thrilling sensation that will be. 15 laps for the final. Yann Goudard, number 44, the Frenchman, also in there. If he doesn't make the top 6, then he will have to run in the repechage. He's desperate to make the top 6, Goudard. There's the second place man. Ahead of him, number 5, John Vandenberg from Holland. And Vandenberg's going to do it. Guy Cooper has no answer for the Flying Dutchman. Waiting now for the third place man. Here's the race leader. Coming down over the whoop-de-doops, Cooper, very close to the cameraman. A brave cameraman indeed at trackside here at Palexpo. Into the last left-hander. What a superb jump over the Lucky Strike banner for the finish. Hand in the air for Guy Cooper. That was tremendous stuff. Third place went to Larry Ward. Kudrowski in 4th. Craig in 5th. And in 6th place it was Jeff Lees. He was the last qualifier. Doug Moore does not go through. He will have to run in the repechage, as will this man, number 44, Yann Goudard, bitterly disappointed, bringing up the back of the field. So Goudard on the Kawasaki, not nearly so lucky as John Vandenberg. Second place, caught in the frame there, Guy Cooper. Larry Ward, a terrific ride. What a different story it might have been if the race had been 2 laps longer. Kudrowski, Craig, Lees bring up the top 6. They go through to the grand final. Doug Moore, Goudard and Edwards will have to fight again in the repechage. If the first semi-final was anything to go by, the second one promises to be a cracker. The best 6 go through, 8 laps again. Jeff Ward goes in this one. Stevenson, Julian Rawson. A tremendous lineup. Kerveler, the Frenchman. Oppillard, Edwin Evertson, the Dutchman. Brock Glover, number 66, at the bottom of the table there. And number 63, of course, the South African, Greg Albertine. And he's there, number 63, Albertine, on the Kawasaki, in the middle of the pack. He's now in 3rd place. Stevenson, 27, shot through. So Denny Stevenson from the USA on the Honda. Greg Albertine still in 3rd. At the back of the pack, number 30, Piet Bera, the German, bringing up the back of the pack. Greg Albertine, Stevenson in 2nd. Jeff Ward, number 65, that's Alwin van Asten, the Dutchman. But the South African riding on the German license, 8 laps to go, 8 laps the distance. Denny Stevenson still in 2nd place. Now, if Albertine can scoop a semi-final, that will be a tremendous fillip to his confidence and stand him in good stead for the big one, the 15-lapper, the culmination of the proceedings, the grand final, with a huge trophy and a pocket full of money at the end of the road. 11 nations were represented here this evening at the Geneva Supercross. The Palexpo Stadium in Geneva is the venue. 14,000 people watching the action. They have not left their seats. Jeff Ward and Stevenson, the 2 Americans in 2nd and 3rd place. There's Jeff Ward, JW as he's affectionately known. Jeff Ward having won 6 US titles in his motocross career. Denny Stevenson, a comparative newcomer, the old master number 1 is behind him. 66, Brock Glover is there as well. But the South African, Greg Albertine, riding on the German license, is in the lead. He leads, Ward. Jeff Ward closing, Kawasaki in front, Kawasaki in 2nd, Honda 3rd, and KTM in the guise of Brock Glover, or the capable hands of Brock Glover, in 4th place. There's Stevenson. It's all about finishing. The top 6 go through. Nobody wants to do anything silly at this stage in the proceedings. Just look at Ward, very high, lands on the inside almost of Albertine. Greg Albertine taking the wide line. Jeff Ward, JW still with him, over the tabletop jump, which will bring them down on the last lap towards the left-hander. Albertine and Ward alongside. Albertine still hanging on grimly by a thread to that lead. Very high in the air, but Ward staying low. Height is not always the answer. Forward speed's what they're looking for. So the sooner he can get the wheels on the ground, get it driving, the better the chance he'll have of getting past Albertine, race leader. Stevenson now in 3rd, being dropped away, and Ward is there. Jeff Ward has taken Albertine, but Albertine fighting back side by side. Poetry in motion. You've heard of synchronized swimming. This is synchronized motocross. Just look at them as Ward goes through. Denny Stevenson in 3rd, but the battle for 1st and 2nd place. Jeff Ward number 1 and Greg Albertine number 63 from South Africa. But the USA it is. 6 times American champion Jeff Ward. Hot from the Paris-Bercy Supercross as well, Ward, on the European circuit in the closed season. Has remained injury-free. He's fighting fit and delivering the goods, and of course his eyes will be set firmly not just on this, the 2nd semi-final win, but the big one, the 15-lap grand final, which is the pièce de résistance, the evening's top event at the end of the programme. Ward, Albertine fighting back very, very fast around the outside. Greg Albertine. No sign yet of Stevenson. It's all about these 2. A host of Team Green Kawasaki's in the race. 1 in 1st, 1 in 2nd. The suspension working overtime as Ward flies very, very high indeed. Still with something in the region of 3 laps to go. Ward leads Albertine. Albertine looking down. Machine problem for Greg Albertine. Now can Stevenson capitalize on that? Albertine was slowing. There's no question about that. He looked down at the left-hand side and slowed. But he seems to have picked up the momentum again. and is now back in pursuit of Jeff Ward. But I have to say that Albertine has resigned himself to second place. That's where he is. There's number 10, Ricky Ryan from the USA on the Honda. Edwin Evertson is ahead of him, but there's Ricky Ryan. Evertson entered on a Suzuki, is out on the funniest looking Suzuki I've ever seen. It's a Kawasaki, there it is, number 14 on the Kawasaki. Edwin Evertson, team green underneath him, but he's entered on the Suzuki. As down they come, Evertson. Ricky Ryan, number 65, Van Asten, the Dutchman. 2 laps to go. Well down the field now with Edwin Evertson. Ricky Ryan, number 10. These are the middle place men. Remember, the first 6 in the race qualify automatically to the grand final. So these minor placings are very important indeed. Ricky Ryan, 10, looking for a way through on the inside of Evertson and almost finding it. Evertson is in with a chance. Jeff Ward, the race leader, we're back with him now. Number 1 on the bike, number 1 in the race, and 1 lap to do for JW. Showing a clean pair of heels to the second place man now, number 63, and there indeed is Brock Glover. So Glover is fighting his way up now as well. Julian Rawson, number 42, in your picture briefly. Number 55 as well is Daniel Obelisco. But the race leader on his last lap, Jeff Ward on the Kawasaki. The whoop-de-doops come next. Here they come across the washboard. Brock Glover. Ward at the end of that very, very bumpy straight indeed, threatening to snatch the handlebars out of his grasp. He's high over the penultimate leap into the left-hander. 1 more jump to do. That's it. The flag is out for JW. Jeff Ward gets it at the end of 8 laps. Jeff Ward came home to win the second semi-final. Greg Albertine, the South African, number 63, came home in second. We're looking for Denny Stevenson, 27. There he is. Stevenson, 27. That's a tail-ender. The rest of the pack filter through. We shall have to wait for the caption to see the 4th, 5th and 6th place men, but no mistaking the race winner. Number 1, Jeff Ward on the Kawasaki from the USA. Almost lost the front end, but he came home and got it. Albertine, Stevenson, Andrews, Ryan and Edwin Evertson completes the qualifiers for the grand final.
La réponse, forcément, et là vous vous dites, mais il y a moins de mystère en cette matière. La réponse, c'est, ça pourrait être le cas de...
Qualifiers for the final. Jeff Ward, Lees, Kedrowski, Cooper, Vandenberg, Ryan, a variety of nationalities there from the USA, from France, from Holland, and of course Albertine, the South African. The Americans have to be favourite for this, but before we go to the final, we have a grand repechage. This will give us 3 more riders to make up the complete lineup for the final. Deepold, Doug Moore, Rawson, Jan Godard, number 44, the Frenchman. They have to be favourites. And at the bottom, number 62, Ryan Hunt, the young Englishman who hasn't featured yet, but he's done enough to get through to the grand repechage. Brock Glover, also number 66. It's only 5 laps. That's all they have to do. And a bit of a mix-up already for number 54, Cyril Poultal. That's disaster. 5 laps, nothing to do. It in. They have to really try. It's got to be flat out from the word go. Only 3 will qualify. Glover, Van Asten, Jan Godard. And the Swiss is there as well. Number 16, Jean-Charles Tournus. So can Tournus get through? There he is, the crowd lifting him on. He's in 3rd place, Jean-Charles Tournus. The race leader, Brock Glover, number 66. In 2nd place, Jan Godard, number 44. In third place, number 16, Jean-Charles Tonus. In fourth place, number 65, Alwyn van Asten from Holland on the Kawasaki. Race leader, Brock Glover. This will be enough to do it if they can hold it. Jan Godard, the Frenchman, number 44, in second. First, second, third. Frenchman in second, American in the lead, and Swiss, the Genevan, the local man, Jean-Charles Tonus, in third place in your picture now. The rest of them, no hopers. This nicknamed the last chance, and it really is the last chance. If you want to go in the big one, you've got to finish in the first three of this one. And only 5 laps to do it in. Second, third, fourth and fifth men, not really in the hunt. This is the third place man, Jean-Charles Tonus. The crowd absolutely delighted. He's excelled himself this evening in Geneva. The Palexpo Stadium providing a superb backdrop for Jean-Charles Tonus to deliver the local goods. Race leader Brock Glover, number 66, a wealth of experience, 44. Jan Godard, Jean-Charles Tonus, number 16, 65, Alwyn van Asten, number 28 there, Diepold. What has become of Roland Diepold? Why is he so far down the pecking order? Roland Diepold, the West German, will not feature in the final if this is the best he can do. He's in 6th place. Number 28, Diepold, disappointing with this ride so far, but the race leader. Jan Godard closing, Godard the Frenchman closing on Glover. Brock Glover, number 66. Everyone else safely through. 2 laps more on the penultimate. Jan Godard on the Kawasaki, still in second. He knows his pit signals will be telling him he's done enough. He will know he's in second. He won't be wanting to risk that place now by chasing after Glover. Second will do. Tonus, look at the crowd waving Tonus on. He's in third. He's going to go through unless some misfortune befalls him. And Diepold is closing. Diepold is closing on Tonus. Can Diepold, the West German, wake up in the dying stages of this repechage race to snatch third place from the Swiss? This is the second place man. There's the race leader. Coming up now to the 1 lap board. 1 lap for Glover, 1 lap for Godard. The race is now for third place. This is the second place man. There's the race leader. But further down the field, Tonus now is fighting off a very determined challenge from Roland Diepold. First and second place men go through. Here comes Tonus, and there's Diepold. In fact, his Doug Moore has got past Diepold, so Colin Doug Moore now is up to 4th place. But Tonus looking safe in third. The marshals waving him on. They're almost into it, waiting for them now to come down over the washboard. Godard in second, Glover in the lead. Tonus has dropped back, but he's still in third. Race leader Glover, the left-hander out. Over the line goes Glover, a very, very sedate finish. He did it, that's all he needed to do. Jan Godard. Diepold retired, Tonus gets third. Doug Moore was 4th, so Diepold had a problem. He did not finish that race, he dropped back and in fact coasted in 3rd, but a lap adrift. But there the race leader, Brock Glover. And Diepold 1 lap down, Glover gets the win, Godard. Diepold was unplaced, Jean-Charles Tonus, those 3 go through. Doug Moore was 4th, he misses out, but there is a consolation race after the evening's proceedings are over. The grand final awaits us, 15 riders on the lice, the creme de la creme. Welcome back to Geneva and the Palexpo Stadium complex for the grand final of the Geneva Supercross. My name's Barry Nutley and the action has been fantastic with the very best yet to come. The grand final, 15 laps. It will be a 12 or 13-minute race if their historic lap times are anything to go by. Riders from 6 nations, 15 take part, 9 from the USA. There are 2 Dutchmen, a German, a Frenchman, a Swiss, and an Australian, the very best from the world and the very best that Supercross has to offer. Machinery from the big four Japanese manufacturers are represented: Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki and Yamaha. And we have the prospect of a nail-biting, thrilling final ahead of us. Denny Stevenson, number 27, has come through in fine form. Not many of his peers would have expected him to deliver the goods as successfully as he has. Favourite, of course, has to be number 2, Jeff Leask, number 1, Jeff Ward, number 4, Guy Cooper, having only his second ride on a Suzuki, and this man, fresh back from a Thursday night injury, number 5, John Vandenberg from Holland, who was involved in a traffic accident, a car crash on Thursday night, which left him with a severely cut arm, which needed 24 stitches. Number 19, Mike Craig, on the left of your picture. Ward, Leask, Kidrowski, Cooper, Vandenberg, Ryan, Evertson, Jean-Charles Tonius. He's listed there as being French. He is, in fact, a local man. He's the Swiss from just round the corner. The crowd are absolutely delighted. Jan Godard, the Frenchman, Greg Albertine, South African, riding on a German license, Andrews and Brock Glover, number 66. The culmination of the evening's proceedings. 14,000 capacity crowd. Tension mounting. The excitement here is electric. Supercross offers a thrilling spectacle and has a superb atmosphere, second to none, if you don't mind a bit of two-stroke oil and carbon monoxide down inside your lungs. I can recommend a trip to Supercross. 15 laps the distance, a long way to go, 400 meters the circuit. The race duration something approaching 13 minutes. Flicking the throttle, 250cc, 40 brake horsepower, 5 speeds, although they rarely get above third gear. A lot of the bends are down to first. The majority of the track is ridden in second. Distinctive green Kawasaki's. Ricky Ryan there, number 10 on the Honda. 44 in our picture now, the Frenchman, Jan Godard. The music rises, the tension building, the crowd standing here at the side of the Palexpo Stadium, anxious for a sight, the 30-second board being displayed. As the man turns that, the riders will have 5 seconds before the gate goes. This is what it's all about. 2 nights of Supercross racing, and this is the big final as Jeff Leask almost goes over the handlebars, number 2. But it's a Kawasaki. It's number 19, Mike Craig. Craig gets it from the flag. So the gate drops. Craig is there. Jan Godard, Guy Cooper, John Vandenberg, Jean-Charles Tonius. They're all in there. What a superb start for Craig, number 19. But Godard, the Frenchman, he came through in the repechage, and Ward is down. Number 1, Jeff Ward on the Kawasaki is down, hooking a straw bale out in the process. But number 19, Mike Craig, is the race leader. Jan Godard is right with him. Number 4, Guy Cooper. The riders must steady the pace now. 15 laps, a long way to go. I must steady my pace. 15 minutes, a long way to go. But this is the leader. Mike Craig rode steadily, but he knows that he has to stay out there for a long, long time, and he has the very best in the world of Supercross breathing down his neck. John Vandenberg, a previous winner here in Geneva, is there as well in 3rd place. Jan Godard in 2nd, a surprise. The French crowd here delighted with their local favourite. Number 44, Jan Godard, the Frenchman on the Kawasaki in 2nd. Vandenberg, Cooper in 4th. So Vandenberg has come up past the Suzuki mounted American number 4. This is the Dutchman, number 5. Remember, riding with that injured left arm, which does not appear to impede his progress. Mike Craig still number 19 on the Kawasaki, leading the race and looking very, very polished indeed. Vandenberg making a bid now alongside Godard for 2nd place. Very close to our camera, living dangerously, the Screen Sport cameraman there. Jan Godard, number 44. And running wide, Ricky Ryan. Just look at the variety of lines as Guy Cooper takes the long way round, scything his way through the pack, going past the Flying Dutchman Vandenberg, So Cooper now up to third. The Frenchman is ahead of him. Guy Cooper has made it abundantly clear from the very first heat this evening that he wishes to stamp his authority on the Geneva Supercross and lift the title for the very first time on only his second outing on the Suzuki. He's now in third, but Vandenberg hasn't given up. It's another Kawasaki in fifth place. Kawasaki leads in the hands of Mike Craig, number 19. Yann Godard, the Frenchman, is with him. Godard closing on Craig. And almost going through, Yann Godard is there. Yann Godard has taken the lead, or has he? The crowd hushed. And there he is, the Frenchman. Even the photographer puts his hands in the air. Amazing stuff from Yann Godard, number 44. The Frenchman well into the race now. 4 laps gone at 15. Guy Cooper on the Suzuki battling around the outside. Godard, Cooper. Vandenberg, number 5, has gone with them up to third. Over the tabletop, side by side. Poetry in motion from these two. Kawasaki leads Suzuki. Yann Godard, it's too soon to say, but surely now he must have his eyes and sights firmly set on glory. And what a name this young Frenchman will make for himself if he manages to lift the Geneva Supercross title from under the very noses of the Americans. Greg Albertine, number 63, a polished Supercross campaigner, has really ridden well this evening. He's in fifth place, but the battle is very much on at the front of the pack. Nothing between them, just seconds separate the top 6 in the race. It's fighting all the way, tooth and nail, between Yann Godard, number 44, number 4, Guy Cooper on the Suzuki, and the third place man, number 5, as Godard whips in the clutch, stamps on the back brake, locks it round, and alongside goes Cooper, and something's happened. Cooper's gone, number 4, Guy Cooper has gone. Up into second place goes Vandenberg. The Suzuki has disappeared. So, what a turn up for the books. I'm almost speechless. I cannot believe that Guy Cooper has gone from the proceedings so dramatically. He's handed it on a plate to one of these two men. Vandenberg, the Dutchman, and number 44, Yann Godard. But the important thing is they are both Europeans. The Americans came to Geneva with the sole intent of making it a 1-2-3, but they're not in the hunt. Their sole representative in the first 3, number 4, Guy Cooper, has gone by the board. So these now are numbers 1 and 2 in the race. No sign of... As I speak, there's Cooper. He's back in the frame, Guy Cooper. He's fighting back. Number 4, Guy, but where is he? Where is he in the race? That's Craig. Difficult to determine exactly where Cooper is. He appears to be down in 6th place by my reckoning. And there's Albertine, the South African, so his race is over. Supercross doesn't give you a chance to fire it up and go again. There's just not the time. The action is too fierce, it's too dramatic, it's too quick. Vital split seconds mean everything. Mike Craig, number 19, Jeff Ward right with him. And Jeff Leask, also number 2, is with them. But the battle goes on at the front, and this is Cooper now having a lone ride. He is now up to 5th place. 44 Godard, race leader. There's the second place man. First and second, over the tabletop again. Vandenberg still in second place, having to settle for second best to the amazing Frenchman. The crowd here are rising to the way Yann Godard is fighting his way round this Palexpo circuit. Tremendous performance by the Frenchman. Can he hold on? We're all crossing our fingers for him. 44 Godard. Remember, he came into this race as a result of the grand repechage. He made it through. He was out of the top 6 in the semi-final. He had to go into the repechage, in which he made the top 3. In fact, he finished second. And would you believe it, he is leading the final from the very, very best the world of Supercross can offer. Vandenberg still with him. Not a look over the shoulder from Vandenberg. We've become used to watching this man glance over the shoulder periodically to determine just where the opposition is. and we don't know where the opposition is. We're looking for the distinctive yellow Suzuki of Guy Cooper, and he's closing. Cooper now is up to third, believe it or not. Cooper is up to third, but look at them, there he is. Just out of your picture there, Guy Cooper went through. It's an enormous gap with a lot of work for the young American to do. He has to wind in the flying number 5 Yamaha of John Vandenberg. He then has to repeat the performance on the number 44 Kawasaki of Jan Godard. A seemingly impossible task. Cooper came through after the first 3 laps. He's coming through again. Surely the task is too great for the young American, because these two are having a battle royal which is drawing them away further and further from the rest of the field. But they are pulling Cooper with them, or rather Cooper is making sure they pull him with them. Jan Godard, the cautionary left leg went down there, almost a mistake by the Frenchman, but still Vandenberg in close company, just waiting to pounce. Vandenberg has won here before. He is the 1988 250cc World Motocross Champion. He has remained loyal to Yamaha machinery, knows his way round the Yamaha, knows his way round motocross, and more importantly, knows every inch of this Palexpo circuit, constructed by the brilliant John Savitsky, the American engineer, who now spends the whole of his career building supercross tracks. As Albertine retires, Albertine's out of it, so Godard and John Vandenberg still having their fight, the crowd urging them on. They know that Cooper is closing, and he's right with them. Guy Cooper now, number 4 on the Suzuki, only his second ride on the Suzuki, is right with them in third. You could almost put a tent over these 3 now. 3/4 of the way into the proceedings, and has Cooper left it too late? He's alongside and he's on the tight line, but no, Vandenberg shuts the door. There's no way through for Cooper. John Vandenberg, adamant that he wants not just second place, he wants the win. Jan Godard cannot believe his good fortune. His riding ability has stood the test of time. In fact, it stood the test of almost 12 laps of this demanding circuit. In fact, just over 12 laps, because when Cooper comes round this time, according to my calculations, and he's now up to second, he should get the 2-lap board. We shall see. Cooper is up to second and really going well, flicking it sideways from his old BMX days. Cooper's brought the technique through into the world of Supercross. He's in second, almost into our screen sport cameraman. That was hectic stuff, and Guy Cooper nearly wiped out the camera there, but he's still with it. That was a close call indeed for the American, who now has Jan Godard, number 44, firmly in his sights, and alongside. My voice will just about last the duration of this Supercross meeting from Geneva. And what a thrilling climax to the evening's entertainment this final has been. Guy Cooper has just about wrapped it up, unless the Frenchman can fight back, but he's looking close again. Godard has not given up the battle yet. Vandenberg is settling for third. Jan Godard, looking every bit as fit as he was on the first lap, in second place now, but nobody could stop the flying Guy Cooper, number 4 on the Suzuki, who fought his way through, tumbled, in fact, removed the straw bales with 2 laps to go, fought his way back, and then almost removed a cameraman, and is still right there fighting. So the race leader now, Guy Cooper, the pace has settled down. Everybody seems to be content now. There are no more bids for glory, but Jan Godard has certainly earned the adoration of the Swiss crowd and the French-speaking population among the 14,000 partisan supporters here. What more can I say other than the fact that Cooper has shown to the rest of European Supercross, and is continuing to do so, what a brilliant exponent of this indoor sport he is. 1 lap to go for Guy Cooper now. The spotlight is on him, the crowd on its feet to a man, and should I say to a woman. Godard still in second. Vandenberg now has slipped away. It could just be that John Vandenberg He's feeling the effects now of that arm injury, which was sustained just 48 hours ago. But he has put up a brave, brave fight indeed. And the Americans will go home from Switzerland safe in the knowledge that the European threat is well and truly here to stay. They have developed the art of Supercross almost to the same level as the Americans. One more bend for Cooper to do. The flag is out. Guy Cooper gets the win. The crowd, the rapturous applause for Guy Cooper. And a lot of that applause, in fact, the biggest part of it, is for number 44, Jan Godard, who led the race for 12 laps and took second from the Dutchman, John Vandenberg. So we have 3 different nations on the podium. No mistaking the winner. Not exactly a trouble-free race for Guy Cooper. He worked hard. There were 1 or 2 retirements, but there it is, the final result. Look at the wealth of American talent behind Vandenberg. Kiedrowski, Craig and Ryan complete the top 6. Vandenberg fought hard, was in 3rd for most of the race. That was where he finished. Jan Godard will be bitterly disappointed to have seen Cooper come past him in the dying stages. A very worthy win for Guy Cooper as he throws a very expensive pair of motocross goggles into the crowd for the adoring Swiss fans. One of them will take them home as a souvenir. The music rises, the laser beams bring a thrilling climax to what has been a superb evening's entertainment and the best Geneva Supercross ever. It's the 3rd and it's been the best. The Americans came here in force. They went as hard as they could. They didn't bring out a 1, 2, 3 win. The Frenchmen showed them how to do it. The Dutchman showed them how to do it. Godard was 2nd. Vandenberg was 3rd. The man in the middle, delighted. Guy Cooper from Texas wins the Geneva Supercross. Goodbye from Barry Nutley and Screen Sport. Join us again.